Waimea Falls pad on its own. Don't forget to choose one from the details down at the bottom. If you want to get them all with Waimea and Amazonia and everything else, then of course you get the entire 7 in the range for $70.07, which is still what, £10 and a penny each. That's jolly good value, isn't it? Back to you, Barb.
Let's have a look at this now. So the pergoliners again. I'm going to the B for blending pencils again. And if we could come in tight on this, because I've already done a before and after here. Okay, so if you have a look, you'll see that, for example, let's have a look. I'll take this particular, I'll reinforce this colour because I knew that I would run out of time otherwise. Let's say I'm just adding a little bit of green here and perhaps a little bit of green there as well. So you can see how I'm brightening this up. Brightening, do you get that? Brighten.
Hey,
right. So now let's start from scratch so you can see there's the colour now. Just gently applying a bit of colour, and I'm using a light green to start with. There you go, like that. And maybe I'll just add a little bit of light green in there as well. Okay, so there's a method in my madness here. Now let me take a darker green. Let me go with a medium coloured green. So now I'm going to go with that olivey colour, and let's add a little bit of olive to this area here. Right, so where we want to add a little bit of shadow, let's add a bit of shadow here, like we did here, right? So let's take a really dark one, and let's go in here now, and just add a bit of pigment. If you like, I'm just adding a bit of pigment, so I want to get a bit of depth going. Do you see? So we're just going to add a bit of pigment in there, and underneath, because to my mind, these are like skirts of a tree.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's going to be darkest there, and there, and there. And then let's just add a bit of shadow there. There we go. Nice, just a bit of green there. And maybe in here, because it'll be tucking in there. And maybe a little bit in there as well. And, of course, we could go through here, couldn't we, and add a little bit while we're going. So you can take your different colours and use the design. See what we're doing? Now, if I wanted to use a peach in the background, I need to get some sort of peach going in the front, don't I? So let's add a little peach in here. Peach is nice. It brightens it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's lovely.
There you go. So you're doing that as well. So my point is, if we look at Deborah's work, what you'll see is, where did I put it?
We had it, didn't we? Where's the other one? Yeah, there it is.
Deb's is bold and dark and like lush.
Dramatic.
Right? I was having a play because, you know, like we said that the calligraphy pens are back in, the mapping pens, so are the blending pens. So I want to show you another little set here. And this set, these blending pens, one always thinks that these only work on parchment, but they're spectacular for blending these pencils on card. So, for example, if we take a look at these blending nibs now, and the blending pen, right, this is very much a Pergamano thing. But let me just show you the difference. If I take, again, I'm going to take my Dorso oil. Okay, it's in a set.
It is. The Dorso oil is in the Colouring Essentials kit, if I remember rightly.
Right.
So you are going to get your blending pen in there, and then, the pen and the nibs details on the bottom side of the screen.
Yep.
If you want to go for the Colouring Essentials kit, that gives you the oil. It also gives you the pen and the nibs, if I remember rightly, as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you the blending pen, doesn't it? Does it give you the blending pen? What's in the
No.
Colouring Essentials kit? There it is. That's what you got.
Yeah. So here we've got the spot-on sponges. We've got an eraser pencil, double-ended. We've got the mix mat. We've got the Dorso oil, and we've got another set of nibs.
Ah, fabulous.
So what you want to do is treat yourself to the blending pen and then go for that as well.
Lovely.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry to jump about,
That's
but
good.
I want to show you how this works. So now, for example, we've got our spot-on sponge that we were using earlier. You know the way we were smearing the ink into place, and what we're doing is we're just putting a little bit of the oil on here, and then what I'll do is I'll just go in there with my nib, just a little bit, like that, and then let's have a look at what happens. If I go to this, I'm going to start on the lighter colour, right? What you've got to know is as well that the ink, the archival ink, it doesn't move when you add oil to it. That's so important. So now, for example, okay, that's great camera work. So now I'm going to roll into the darker green, and you'll see how it just blends. It's so, look at this. This is on paper now. Look how it turns into like a printed card. Look. I hope it's working, because it's working for me here.
Yeah, it's looking gorgeous.
Do you see how it
Yeah.
looks? Now compare that tree
It's giving
with
a
the dry
vibrancy,
one.
yes.
So you've got dry pre-oil. It's exactly the same.
It looks like that tree needs a good watering.
It does. It
This
looks
one
like my garden did last week.
lush and verdant.
Yeah, but check it out. And like I say, if I would go back in. I'd go into the light area first. Otherwise, my light area is going to end up getting darker and darker, isn't it?
Yes.
So you're just going to smooth out, blend out that colour. Check out the difference. It's quite something. And then you can go into the dark and just blend it in, literally just move it through. And once it's dry, you can go and add another layer and another layer. And the other thing to bear in mind when you do this, here we go, let's go in there. Check out how this looks. If it starts to get a bit dry, just dip back in there like that and then go again. And you just smooth around like this. There you go. Look, let's go in there. Light colour. What a difference that makes,
It makes
doesn't
a
it?
huge difference. Just to say, Stephanie has emailed in. Stephanie Holt. She says, "Hi, Barbara and Nigel. Enjoying the show. I have bought the bauble stamps. Going to miss you so much, Nigel. Your laughter and funny stories. You're such a lovely person inside now. Thank you very much indeed. Wishing you well with whatever you do." Which is nice. People are so lovely. That's just gorgeous,
But
Barbara.
it just goes to show you that when you use
Blending
the
pen.
oil on these pens, you can smooth out really beautifully. And on the back, maybe you could see this. You can see the oil coming through.
Yes, you can slightly.
The good
can't you?
thing about Dorso oil is it dries clear. So if you were doing this directly onto a card instead of onto a layer of paper like this, say that was the inside of the card, that will dry clean.
Ah, okay, so you
Do you see
won't
what I mean?
see it, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're doing it on the front of the card and it would be on the inside, but it wouldn't show
That's
once
it.
it dried.
That's it.
Barbara, we are nearly at the end of the show. I can't bear it. I know. Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh.
It's been a very busy show. You can